Hi guys, and welcome to Make Me a Pro. It has been a minute. Apologies for the fact that it's so late, but I thought I would get in front of the camera and tell you of all the amazing things that have happened in the last couple of months and why I've been away. So since we last spoke in January, February, I have celebrated a birthday in the US, which is great. I also went on my first business trip. I did a lot of kind of exploring of New York, but also had a lot of reflective time in London, and it was amazing. It was really, really good to be out of the Big Apple and kind of to see people that I'd missed, to see a new environment in like the workspace, but also to really hone into like my thoughts. And a lot of questions that people have been asking me was, where have you been? What have you been doing? Like, are you going to stay? Are you going to go? Etc. So I've just really been thinking about a lot of things over the last couple of months and kind of celebrating just getting into a space where like mentally I'm free, but also maturing and kind of coming into my own. So recording this video today is the 1st of May, which means I am short of having spent 8 months in the States by kind of like 4 days. It's been an amazing journey so far. If you look through some of my videos, you can see that, I came here with a lot of expectations and a lot of things that I wanted to accomplish and things that I wanted to achieve. Some kind of turns and twists, unfolded new roads, and I also got the opportunity to learn a lot and be kind of grateful for living in the now. So I came here with one job and then I got unemployed very quickly because it was a mishmash of opportunity. I found something that was great, and I kind of have spent the last few months honing into that and really enjoying my job and learning about my job, my industry, what my strengths are, how to work with a different team as well, and what that means to me in terms of my character, in terms of like how I want to move forward, and in terms of what that means in the rest of my journey here in the States. Okay, in terms of you guys keeping me honest on some of the things that I said I was going to do at the beginning of the year, I haven't yet interviewed one of my career heroes, although I feel like I'm really, really close, so watch out for that one. My Spanish went on a high and then it kind of fell off a little bit. I had a few conversations with people around me, and I've been introduced to meetups in New York. Obviously, like I should have Googled it, but I didn't. So I'm going to be starting going to a few meetups in New York City to brush up on my Spanish. But I had a curveball thrown at me recently when I figured out I need to brush up on my French, more so for something I'm working on. So yeah, I think by the end of the year, you can kind of help me take stock of like how far I've grown in my languages. But yeah, haven't made the amounts of strides that I would have liked to. However, I did download Duolingo. It is fantastic, by the way, if you want to learn a language. It sets you like reminders every day. It keeps you accountable, and it has this like funny like little notification. If you have ignored it for a few days, it'll be like, well, we can see that you don't really want to pay attention to us, so we'll stop messaging you until you're back. I was like, okay. So yeah, Duolingo is fantastic, and it's in the App Store and all that stuff. So yeah, check that out if you want to do languages. In terms of traveling, again, I haven't really done as much as I would have liked to since January. However, come May, that's all going to change. I'm going to Boston next week, and I am going to spend some time in Philadelphia and possibly North Carolina in the near future. I have, however, been on a plane recently and I flew to London. I'll tell you about that in a second. And in terms of hosting a brunch, the sunshine is just about coming out. So I am really, really excited to host one. I'm not sure what the topic will be, who will be invited, etc. But that's still on my roster. Springtime in New York is beautiful. The weather's been amazing. Like, I voice note my best friend every day and I'm always like, yeah, well, good morning from a sunny New York, and she's always like, it's snowing in London. So yeah, wait until the sun comes out and I will let you know about my brunch brunch plans or like how it's gone, etc. And also being more interactive. Now, one person asked me about apps that I use in the US, as well as being involved in financial technology. I am immersed around a lot of, conferences, events, etc. about technology and the latest trends and, things that are happening in the market. And I have to constantly educate myself, because as someone in the finance industry, you know that there are plenty of apps and plenty of different things that are going on in terms of like saving, in terms of automating your payments and different things like that. So I think in terms of getting more interactive, I haven't got more interactive with people for Make Me a Pro per se. However, I've learned more about, digitalizing my life. And for my UK people, there's this amazing app called Venmo. If you haven't tried it, it really helps you to kind of move money really quickly between your friends. You can pay each other for lifts, you can pay each other for brunch and all this stuff, and it's really cool, really anonymous as well if you like that kind of thing. I've used this app called GroupMe, which is like WhatsApp on steroids, and it is a fantastic tool to kind of keep up to date with people that you didn't know before. I'm in a GroupMe with like over 1,000 people, which I think, having met the CEO of GroupMe, one of the founders of GroupMe the other day, he was like, how? And I was like, yeah, I don't know. So yeah, GroupMe, learning to use filters and stuff on Snapchat. Honestly, I'm a grandma when it comes to like social media. So it's just little things like that. So in terms of getting interactive, it hasn't looked how I thought it would, but I'm definitely working on it. And I promise to keep you guys more informed of what I'm doing, hear more about like how you want to hear what's going on with my life, and any kind of tips, tidbits, especially on the like how to automate your life while you move or like when you're abroad, etc. Please reach out and let me know. Okay, so why am I telling you all this, and why now, and what's the point? Because I'm that type of person. We're like, okay, you're talking, get to the point. So I really wanted to talk to you today about falling out of love with your passion. So all this amazing stuff has happened to me in the last couple of months, and it has been tough in some parts, and it's been some highs, some lows, etc., as you would expect. But I have taken a step back from Make Me a Pro, or I had taken a step back from Make Me a Pro, and it was literally because I fell out of love. When you are working on something that's like a passion project, and you really want to give it your all, and you really, really want to, like, it's your baby, so you don't want it to drop, you don't want anyone else to touch it, and you don't want to, hurt it in any kind of way. That's how it was with this project for me. And why I'm telling you this is because I was scared. I was scared for a long time about, what do I say? People want to know what's going on with me in America. People, enjoy the series, both on like iTunes and YouTube. And people ask me to like say stuff, but like I don't know what to say. Like I just kind of want to live my life. So the first thing I would say in terms of falling out of love with your passion is don't be scared. Don't overthink it. I am the queen of overthinking things and, thinking about, what would people say? Like, how does that make me look, etc. And it's okay to, embrace that this experience is happening and there are alternatives. And sometimes it takes time to create something great. It really does. And just because you've fallen out of love with something doesn't mean that it's the end. My second tip is take yourself back to why. Now, this links to my trip to London. A few weeks ago, actually, beginning of April, I went to London for 2 weeks with my job. And it was amazing because it was my first time to be back in the UK since I've been here. But also there was a lot of learning on the job. There was a lot of meeting new people, but also a lot of taking myself back to my family, back to my friends, back to places that I used to walk around all the time and people that I used to see all the time. But also it's very quick. So what I did with that me time was really think about, okay, when I thought about Make Me a Pro, I was walking across Waterloo Bridge and thinking of like ideas and getting really, really excited. So I took myself on that walk again and was soaking everything up about, you know, being in the city and being back where it kind of like started, and like what were my thought processes when it came to like looking for a job. Why did I start Make Me Pro? Why did I, you know, which conversations and who was involved when I was like making that decision. And it helped me remember that regardless of whatever happens, you can always go back home. You can always go back to like where it starts. You can always go back to those people who kind of like cheer you on and like give you energy and, you know, help you think out loud. So I spent a lot of time, you know, thinking about things and like recording myself and being like, okay, this is where I am, this is what I want to do, etc. And when I got back to New York, I reached out to fellow podcasters and people who were doing similar things to me and being like, okay, so I had this thing and I really, really love it, but like it feels like work, and that's not what passion should feel like. So I had some conversations, stripping everything back and talking through, okay, what do you want to achieve, and like what does success look like? And if you break it down into smaller chunks, like what can you physically do without it like being like a mountain? You know, what can you, how can you prioritize your time, and how can you like revitalize what you used to love in a different way? And so I think this is part of what this video is, and it's also part of like some of the things I'm working on moving forward. So tip number 2 is definitely take yourself back to the start and ask yourself why. Refamiliarize yourself with why you started whatever passion project or what your passion is once you fall out of love with it. And the final thing is really go for it. Like, don't be scared to try out new things. Like, once you have an idea or like once you have a motive or whatever it is, like just go for it and see where it pans out. Things may work out, they may not work out, but there's always a lesson in it. So when I started Make Me Pro, I was kind of like, I didn't know anything about podcasting. I still feel like I'm like learning. Didn't know anything about YouTube, and it's all about figuring it out. The next thing that I'm doing, I feel like I don't really know anything about, you know, Google Hangouts, for example, or I don't really know anything about like live streaming or whatever. So I'm giving you little tidbits of what's coming. But yeah, so like, you know, just go for it and don't overthink it. You know, don't be scared to explore new avenues. Don't, you know, worry too much that you've fallen out of love with something that you used to love, because it can take on different forms. It can evolve, it can break down, it can, you know, shift. But at the end of the day, if you remind yourself why you were doing whatever it is you were doing, then it will be all good. But in terms of like me and how I'm doing in New York and stuff like that, I'm really, really loving my time out here. I'm learning a lot about myself. I would like to travel much more than I am, and I'm fixing that. In terms of like working towards goals and stuff like that, I have stuff that's written down. I should have done a 6-month kind of update, but I was pondering and thinking about, okay, what do I want to talk to my audience about? And this was the first thing that I really felt right. So thank you for bearing with me, and thank you for watching. So if you are interested in knowing more, finding out, you know, more information about myself, asking me a question, please leave a comment in the comment box. Visit www.makemeapro.org or hit me up on LinkedIn as usual, or Twitter at Miss Monday, and I will do my best to get back to you. And yeah, please feel free to just shoot me an email if you're old school like me. Until next time, guys.